So today's video is going to be an inside the mind style of video where I'm going to be talking through what was going on in my head as I was playing through this gameplay, basically why I'm doing what I'm doing throughout the entire thing. Hopefully this is going to give you guys a pretty unique educational perspective and also really touch on a lot of key points like target selection, positioning, how to farm your ult and when to use it, and so many other things. This obviously will mainly apply to Starlord, but can definitely apply to other DPSs. But as always, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Now let's get right into this video. So as we're getting into the beginning of this gameplay, the first key thought I really want to put in your guys' head throughout the entire thing is that everything you do should have a purpose. Whether it's where you're positioning or what target you're shooting at all times you want to be doing something for a reason. You never really want to be autopiloting, and that's so important. So early on here, we notice that they have a Black Panther, and so I'm going to want to let this Black Panther know early that not only am I aware of him, but that we're not going to let him have free access to our healers. This can be done just through positioning, as you see me doing now, putting myself in between him and the healers, and also doing damage as I am right now. Again, we're just letting this Black Panther know, look, you're not going to have free access to our healers, and that's going to pay off in the long run throughout this game. Now, you're also going to see with my specific playstyle, I like to pressure the tanks as much as possible. You can play Starlord so many different ways. Some people like to mainly go for squishies, which is healers and DPS. But for me, I actually like to focus the tanks most of the time until I farm my ultimate. Always, if there is a, vulnerable healer and a vulnerable DPS, I will look to get that elimination. But you're going to see a lot of the time that I'm actually just trying to focus the tanks, again, to farm my ultimate as fast as I possibly can. So this first kind of point here, we just kind of steamroll them, to be honest. My team just kind of works them down. We mark the Black Panther as much as we can. And we kind of set the tone of the game in this first point, which is really nice. You see that because I noticed they have an infinite ammo setup, I don't challenge that, I back up. And now we're going to get really into that playstyle I was talking about, where I'm going to just be constantly working these tanks as much as I can. This is going to be a time where I kind of get behind the enemy here, but I'm low on health. Because I have that Luna Snow Snowflake, I'm able to kind of just wait it out and get these heals back over time. And you'll also notice I have my ultimate. Now, what I'm going to want to do with this ultimate is pop it and look to focus a healer. Ideally, if they didn't have their ultimate, I would be able to get those eliminations. But we also pulled the support ultimate no matter what. So really, that's why Starlord ult is a win-win. Is at worst, you're pulling a support ult. At best, you're getting a few eliminations. So it works out either way. It's getting a ton of value and a ton of impact. And you'll kind of notice here that I get caught behind the enemy team. My team does go down, and I'm kind of alone here in no man's land, but that's okay because when you're in these types of positions, what you're going to want to do is just live and be annoying. Because now the enemy team is like, wait, we got a Starlord behind us. We got to be worried about him, and that's going to allow my team to just walk up, hit a big Agamotto, and we get a nice team wipe here with me collapsing from the back. And that right there was set up for me having that pressure in their backline and then being worried about Starlord and kind of taking their focus off of that. And that allows me and my team to then collapse on top of them. So works out perfect. And you also notice something I want to touch on positioning wise is me playing the high ground a lot. You'll see me go up on these roofs, in and out of buildings. Using Starlord's kit effectively is super important. His ability to fly is so important to his kit. And you're really going to want to constantly be trying to play high ground. This map is great for that. And on top of that, another great point about using his kit effectively is that E ability you saw me just use. Whenever your team has a support ult up, make sure you are using your E as much as possible in that support ult, because you're going to farm your ult so quick by doing that, which again, with my playstyle, is a huge part of what I'm trying to do, is just farm my ult as fast as possible and get that value out of it. We do go down there to the Groot ult, but we obviously just quickly regroup here, and I'm looking to use that ultimate as fast as I possibly can so that I can start working towards my next one. So we use it, we pull another support ult. Obviously, we're not getting any eliminations here, but pulling that support ult is major value. Now, you will notice, again, that my team does go down here, or at least two go down, and I'm going to try to survive in the backline again. Now, this particular time, they are way more focused on me, and my team is very behind, so it's probably not going to work out. But I end up getting the rocket res there and still getting value, and it's also okay because my teams were saying on comms, we're going to TP back with Strange ult, so that's another reason that was a really solid play, just getting rid of the rocket res. Now, the ult, or the TP, I should say, doesn't really go well for us. and that's okay. We're just going to quickly regroup here and work our way back into the fight.
I have ult again.
Now, as we're getting back into this next fight here, I actually kind of make a little bit of a mistake, and it's also a bit of a miscommunication. You're going to see me, I'm pressuring the tanks, again, trying to fire my ultimate as fast as I can, and I go in for an E because I thought that my invis was going to instantly pop ult. However, she didn't instantly pop ult, she actually waited, so I do die and I have to come back. So a bit of a miscommunication there, but we get right back into it. We had Luna ult as well, so right after invis, we pop Luna and we clean them up. And you'll notice here me and the group being extra aggressive, and we're really trying to get those staggers so that they're spawning at different times. Just creating that gap in timing so that they can't really fight, and it buys us more time to move the point. Right now, as you notice, I have my ultimate, and I'm going to want to use this again. You want to use your ultimate really as fast as you can after you get it, because the sooner you can pull this support ult, the sooner that our team can then counter and push up. But not only that, the sooner you're going to start working towards your next ultimate. And again, with my playstyle specifically, mainly pressuring tanks and trying to farm that ult, it really only makes sense to do it as fast as possible for the most part, because you want to be constantly working towards that next ultimate, because it's really just better to use it faster and pull a support ult and start farming the next one than hang on to it with how fast we're getting it and how many we get per match. We end up falling back because they counter us, but we get the elimination onto their Strange there. And now this is going to allow us to push back up in a 6v5 with the advantage. And we also pulled out their support ult there. So this is looking really good for us. And we continue to move up as a unit with me trying to apply that pressure as best as I can to their tanks. And again, because I use my ult as fast as I did, I'm able to this whole time be working towards the next one, pressuring the tanks, using my E when I can. And you'll notice I'm already at 95%, and it feels like I just used my ult. And since we're so close to the point here, I just instantly pop my ult to zone them out, basically, so that if they try to walk out of their spawn, they get hit with my ultimate. If you guys are enjoying the video so far and you want to see more content just like this, I post right here on this channel almost every single day. I also stream live at Twitch almost every single day at 6 p.m. EST, so if you want to come hang out and watch me play live, make sure to go drop a follow there as well. And as we head into the second half here, I think we touched on a lot of the overall what is my playstyle and main concepts I was trying to get done. So I'm going to try to go more in depth into maybe like the little things, like the little positionings I do this second half. Again, we're going to start by pressuring these tanks again. And you have to, when you're playing Starlord especially, or any DPS, when your health is only 250, you have to know when to back up. As soon as we lose one tank, now we actually lose two, we're instantly backing up and creating space for ourselves. Yes, obviously you're giving your enemy space to move up as well, but you're just going to die if you're trying to fight 4v6, especially without tanks or healers. So knowing when to back up is really important, because at the end of the day, staying alive is now going to allow my tanks to come back and me already be in position. We're also continuing to put that pressure and farm ult. If you're dead, you can't farm your ult. So right now, I'm already at 40%. Had I died there, I would only be at like 20. And that's going to allow us to continue to pressure. You can see right there, I used my E to not only get that elimination, but also farm my ult. And I worked my way back towards the health pack as I was using my E, because I knew that my health was low. So I get that heal and stay alive. And now the enemy's going to go ahead and pop their ult. When they do, I'm looking, is there anybody vulnerable outside of the ult? Loki was. Unfortunately, he had his lamp, so I'm not able to get that elimination. And as I kind of wrap back to the front line here, I notice that my whole team is pretty much gone down. I get a little caught off guard there by the Starlord coming through. I thought I had a group wall behind me to keep me safe, but there was a gap. So after we regroup here, we're going to go back to doing the same thing, trying to apply that pressure and farm my ultimate. So much of playing Starlord is honestly just doing something at all times. You want to constantly be applying pressure, farming that ult. We do pop our ult here. We get the first pick on a Starlord. Loki does pop his lamps. Luckily, I comet and my teammates break them, so we're able to get another elimination and collapse on the team here. So really good job by my team there. Ideally, we pull the Loki lamps before I pop my ultimate. Nice. But in that situation, I saw Starlord was vulnerable, so I wanted to get it off quickly. And it ended up working out because my teammates quickly take out the lamps for me. Now we continue to apply some pressure there, backing them up even further, making it hard for them to get through this choke. But you don't want to overcommit too much and end up dying, so we back up just a little bit. So as you can see, I'm going back on the high ground here. Playing that space with Starlord and playing these high ground positions is really, really important because Starlord is one of the few characters that can fly the way he does and go to these types of positions. Playing in them is really, really strong, especially on this Tokyo 2099 map, because there's so many just really strong high ground positions. We get caught out of our support ult, but we're able to get back in with a roll without going down. That was really big, really good support ult there. And as we get in the support ult, we just start farming our ult, picking up those eliminations. And again, you'll see right here, I do go for headshots on the tanks as much as I possibly can. Obviously, some heroes are going to be easier than others, so heroes like Groot, Thor, The Thing are going to be easier to hit headshots than like Strange and Magneto. But if you can go for the headshots, you're just going to do more damage and get that ult even quicker. I sit up on that high ground to assess the situation, and we end up catching the Groot getting out of position. And it looks like we're going to catch Psylocke there as well, so we get those 2 free eliminations by just sitting in the high ground and falling down on top of our enemies when they're out of position. The Hela is going to push up onto me here. I almost get caught. We get some really great heals there from our healers. Shout out to them. Their heals were really, really good this whole game. And I noticed right away I have my ultimate again here. And I'm going to want to use it as fast as I can so we can start working on the next one. And we do catch Luna without her ult. We get that elimination. And since we catch her without her ult, we're able to snowball this into 3 eliminations. And we catch the Psylocke going invis. I use my E because my E will still be able to hit her while she's invis. And we just go ahead and clean up the whole team there. And again, that's done with my playstyle. Farming ult as fast as possible. Using it as fast as possible. Beating their supports to their own ults. And we get a ton of value out of it with 3 eliminations plus the team wipe. Now we go back up on the high ground here because Cloak pops her ult, the enemy Cloak. And there's nothing I can really do. We're going to die if we fight in it. So I might as well sit in a safe spot and farm more ult. And then we're able to counter with an invis ult. And we hit them with an E on top of a Moon Knight ult. And just collapse on top of them with a really nice ace there as a team. Really well-timed ults by everybody on my team there. And me just, I'm always trying to play positions. Like I said, do everything with a purpose. Try not to ever autopilot and do nothing with a purpose. I'm always trying like, okay, where am I positioning myself? Am I safe in this position? Can the enemy see me? Can the enemy do damage to me? What can I do from this position? And then target selection. You know, what enemy should I be shooting at right now? Most of the time for me, it's tanks, right? Because I'm trying to farm that ultimate. But if I see a vulnerable healer, if I see a vulnerable DPS, finding the right way to collapse, get that elimination, and get out without taking damage or without going down myself is really, really important. Try always just to be doing something with a purpose. If there's one thing you can take away from this video, that alone would be it. Try to always think, what is my purpose of where I am and what I'm doing in this moment. We get our ultimate again. Again, this playstyle, I farm ult so quick. And we're able to get the Luna right after her ult runs out. And we go for another 3k here. And are just looking to absolutely clean up their team. We're just farming ult so fast. We almost go down here, actually. But I'm able to get out using those nice Starlord B-hops to get to a health pack and get behind the enemy again. And this is one of those situations where, again, I'm applying a little bit of pressure. I'm letting them know, hey, look, I'm still behind you. I forget that wall was broke, so we almost go down here. But fortunately, we're able to get to that health pack, and we stay up here. And basically, my team is just calming, yo, can you stay up? Try not to stagger. And so I'm just, as best as I can, falling back without taking damage. And now when my team reaggresses, I'm still alive. I'm able to instantly reaggress. I don't have that 10-second delay, and I don't have to get back if I would have went down. So really important to play your life on Starlord. I know as a DPS, you're going to get more deaths sometimes, but do your best to try to play your life still and not go down a ton, because it really can hurt. Now my team ends up going down here. We're a little bit outnumbered on this point, but using some good movement and using my E to not only farm my ult, but actually get an elimination there and delay them from wiping my own team, actually gets me my ult, and now I'm able to go ahead and clean up that Luna, the Doctor Strange, and their Cloak and Dagger. And that actually ends this game. That gameplay flew by for me going back over it, but we absolutely dominated that game. Just perfectly executed my personal playstyle, and hopefully me going over this and trying to talk through it is able to give you guys some ideas, and hopefully you're able to take one thing at least away from this video and implement it into your own playstyle. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.